Hey guys, let's talk about basics. What makes money in a business is pretty much similar across the board, in most service businesses at least. It's the following: attain customers, increase the value of each customer, and have them keep coming back to you perpetually. If you do those three things, you'll pretty much have no issues other than, all the little things, growing your business. That is the recipe. So if you want to get more customers, you have to market, you have to say yes to those customers, whether it's convenient or inconvenient. You have to say yes, and you have to build a culture of saying yes. You have to say yes when it hurts. That's when you're actually saying yes. And you also have to understand that today's sales will never be sold tomorrow. So if you have 30 cars today, you better take them all in, because tomorrow you may have 3 cars in. A lot of guys do not understand that. They get arrogant because they sell 20, 30, 40, 50,000 in a day. And then that next car is not as important because they have, outbeaten their expectations of what a good day should be. And then the rest of the week they get no sales. But that goes into the video on how all your money is made in 3 to 4 days in a month, right? We talk about that. All 50% of your sales are made on those 3 to 4 busy days in a month. So you have to build a culture of saying yes. You have to build a culture of saying yes even when it's inconvenient. And it has to go across the board, from the manager all the way down to the newest guy on the team. And you have to understand that saying yes is in fact 5-star customer service. That's at the very root. The foundation of a 5-star customer service in our industry, in auto repair, is saying yes. Because if you can't be available to your customer right away, there's no way you're a 5-star service company. This is nonsense notion of 5-star things should be booked out, and that's all horseshit. None of that actually is convenient. Nobody wants to deal with someone who's booked out 7 days out, 10 days out, 3 weeks out. Like, dude, your customers don't want auto repair to be like going to a nice restaurant, right? It's like you plan for it. No, dude, if their car's broken, they want it fixed now. They want it fixed now. They want it fixed as quickly and as friendly and as cheap as humanly possible. That's what they wanted for the last 50 years, and it's not going to change 50 years from now, whether it's an electric car or it's a freaking flying car. It's not going to change. Customers have not changed in the last 50 years. But by the way, cars don't pay the bill. The customer does, right? So, and what the customer wants hasn't changed, and I don't think it ever will. They don't care about auto repair. They don't want to spend money on it. So therefore, they want it in and out as quickly and as painlessly as possible. So as quickly and as friendly, and they don't want to come back for the same problem again. And whoever can deliver that consistently, that's the person and the company that's going to kill it. Okay, so number 2, saying yes is number 1. Number 2, increase the value of that customer. So how do you do that? That's where we get into systems. That's where we get into isolations. So I've been saying this recently, which is very simple. We do not sell parts, we sell systems. We do not fix parts, we fix systems. You have to think in systems, because if you don't, there's 2 problems. 1, you're probably not fixing it right, because you're going to throw a part at it and something else will go bad. Right? We give the example of a water pump. You change the water pump, hose starts leaking, thermostat starts leaking, coolant temp sensor is bad, whatever. And that's number 1. You don't fix it. And the second is, you don't make any money. Why? Because now you're just going one drop at a time. And this is what we call nickeling and diming a customer, right? You don't want to kitchen sink them in one go, but you definitely don't want to just, do one thing at a time. What you want to do is you want to do it all in one visit. And the whole idea is, Mr. Customer, I'm going to replace this water pump, and I'm going to look at the rest of your cooling system. And if anything's broken, anything's bad, I'm going to tell you, because I do not want you coming back to my shop in the next 6 months for anything related to the water pump, the cooling system, the overheating, whatever their original concern is. And that's the biggest thing, guys. And then that gets into speed, right? Because the customer's mind is they have allocated a certain number of hours that they're going to keep their car at your shop. So you get those hours, and however you use those hours is up to you. You can use them looking at the car and building out a 3-hour inspection, or you could just immediately communicate. And in the 6 hours, one shop makes 1 call, you've already made 5. And you've already built the ticket up, and you've already communicated and over-communicated. And let me tell you something about that, guys. The number 1 concern that customers have with our industry is communication. They hate us because we don't communicate. We suck at communication. So that's the second foundation of a 5-star customer service. Number 1, say yes, get them in whenever it's convenient for them, not you. Number 2, communicate. And the cool thing with our systems is we build communication and sales into the same thing. So when you're calling them every 40 minutes to an hour, not only are you giving them an update on what needs to get done, and you're actually selling the system, you're also updating them. So for them, it's like a 2-in-1, and you're able to show them what's going on. And in that 6 hours, they've already spoken to you 4 or 5 times, and you've built a tremendous relationship and communication with the customer. Whereas the other shop waited 4 hours, and what they do, they kitchen sank the customer, and they're like, dude, what the hell, dude? At least do some foreplay before, right? And that's the biggest thing, guys. So that increases the customer's value by far. Because what you're doing is you're stretching this $5,000 ticket, and you're hitting it in 4 calls, and you're building it up, and you're lowering that anxiety for the customer and the service advisor, and you're educating and building a relationship simultaneously. That is how you build 5-star service built into building great tickets, and that's how you maximize the car and the customer. And let me tell you something. If you're like, hey man, that's wrong, Zane, well, why you shouldn't be maximizing customers? First of all, I'm gonna make another video about that because we don't have time for that. But second of all, do you ever understand? We're in business. In case you're wondering, we're in business. We're here to make money. right? We're here to make money in a way that is still moral. And if you're a technician and you can argue with me that, hey Zane, replacing a thermostat on a car with 100,000 miles that isn't bad while you're doing the water pump is a bad idea, I'd love to have you send me a message and we can have a conversation about that. 20 years this year, by the way, this month, by the way, 20 years since I've been selling service, okay? So let me tell you something else. The third thing, and the biggest thing, is you need these customers coming back to you perpetually, because if you don't have this third piece, the first two don't even matter, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna get customers in, you're gonna maximize the ticket, and they'll never come back, and soon enough, your customer acquisition cost is gonna go through the roof, your marketing will be the most expensive thing you have on your P&L, and you'll be out of business very soon. So you have to understand that retention is the name of the game. In fact, I can even say this, the shop that doesn't do 1 and 2 as well, but does number 3 the best, is gonna be the company that grows the biggest by far. So what do you do with retention? Easy. I remember we said 5-star customer service starts with saying yes whenever it's convenient for the customer, not for you. Maximizing the ticket by over communicating, and do it fast. Speed equals sales. And number 3, fix the car right the first time. For the love of God, do not let that car come back. Leave it cleaner than it came in, and make sure that when the customer leaves, do the final touch. So all in all, fix it right, clean it, and then shake their hand like you're the maitre d' at a 5-star hotel or a restaurant, and make sure they're leaving as a raving fan. If they're anything but a raving fan, you have failed. It's that simple. They should be like, you guys are the best. If they don't say that, you suck. There's no middle ground for us, okay? So we have to deliver that every single time. And guys, we can get into QC, we can get into diagnosing the car properly, we can get into cleaning the car, we can talk about the manager's final touch. But at the end of the day, man, I'll tell you the biggest thing it is, give a shit about the customer. Give a shit about the customer, and they will give a shit about your business. Right? The biggest thing is nobody went out of business that their customers wanted them to stay in business. Nobody, right? People get upset about, oh, that company went out of business, blah, blah, blah. Spirit Airlines went out of business. A lot of people wish their Spirit Airline was still around. I certainly don't. I'm pretty sure I have cursed Spirit Airlines many times myself. I'm joking, obviously. But every time I flew Spirit, the 4 or 5 times in my life, I was like, I'm never flying this airline again. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if they had just been able to retain with customer service, right? You can be cheap, but their customer service was nonsense, right? You don't know if you've flown Spirit. So the point I'm trying to make with all this, guys, is number 1, say yes when it's not convenient and it's convenient for the customer. Number 2, communicate, do it fast, and build the ticket by isolating the system, not the part. Number 3, retention is the name of the game. Build the reputation of a shop that fixes it right the first time, and then shake their hand, kiss babies, and make sure you're treating them like a 5-star customer at a 5-star restaurant. And if you do those 3 things, guys, it's impossible that you will not win. It's impossible. We're gonna make it unrealistic for you not to win. I hope this helps, guys. And these 3 things is what I call the freaking basics. They will never change as long as the service industry is around, and they can probably apply to any service industry, whether it's plumbing or auto repair. So I hope that helps, guys. Thank you.